All right. This is Preston Roser, and this is my depiction of the uh, BongoWatch circuit. So, as you can see, we have the Arduino as kind of like the brain, a breadboard that we put in, or that I put in just to help with some circuitry. A few things to note is that we have a piezo here. This is just going to be our buzzer to like act as our microphone or like the speaker. The microphone itself is going to be this photoresistor. So it's just a test input so that we can be able to read input. And then we have the LCD display, such as like the watch face, as well as an LED here, which is just going to depict the um, like the watch state, blinking, Bluetooth, pairing on, things of that nature. And then if we come over to here to the code, generally what my code looks like right now is just test cases. So I just have test cases to make sure that it's working, because obviously when we go to actually put this in play in like a watch interface, it would be entirely different. So we have all of our constants up here, all of our pin definitions, and then we start that LCD liquid crystal display up here with, again, all of those pin definitions. As you can see, the LCD is connected to pins 2 through 7. And then we have our buzzer connected to pin 8. We have our LED completely separate because it doesn't really need to be a part of the breadboard at all. And then we have our photoresistor attached to the analog in, as well as ground and power, of course. But if we move into this, we have our setup, which just initiates the pin modes, begins the declaration of the circuit, and then it gives a little intro screen. So it'll display just what it is and that this is a homework test start. And then we're going to loop through the instructions. The loop is going to go through multiple stages of the tests. The first stage is going to be an LCD test, second, an LED test, the third, a buzzer test, and the fourth, an LDR test. And that LDR test is going to be the most important because it takes an input of the value light in this case. But if we were to have a microphone, which TinkerCAD doesn't have, we would just replace it then, and it can, through the analog in, take in input from that. And then we have each of the functions for the test cases below, stating like LED blinks. It distinguishes the high and the low. And then we have our buzzer, which just buzzes for a second as if it was a speaker and it was speaking to us, and then reading in that LDR. And then the LCD is the easiest because we just change what's being written to it, as you can see right here. But if we simulate, you'll see the first initiation screen, then it goes into test case 1. We're just testing the LCD, making sure that the display is correct. And then next it'll move into the LED blinking, which you can see here. This is as if it was charging or looking for Bluetooth. And the next it will go into the buzzer. So it'll buzz just a few times off and on, make sure that that speaker is working. Very loud, as you can tell. This is test case 3. And then next it's going to move into the LDR, which will actually display the values down here. So as you can see, it's dark and covered, and that LED is on. But if we turn it up, then it's going to say bright, the LED is going to turn off, and we're going to be printing a different value. And this is just to make sure that whatever input we have into the Arduino itself works. And as you can see, it all works correctly. Most of my teammates are going to be nearly identical to this, just because these are the basics functionalities that we are expecting from our robots. But there's generally what we need. And yeah, that's everything.